$1 million. That's how much you can expect to make if you win a lottery that pays out $1 million. As for being a data analyst, let's talk about that. There are a lot of crazy numbers out there of what you can make in your first job as a data analyst. If you see someone claiming that you can make near 6 figures in your first job, that person is probably trying to sell you a course. While it's very possible to make $100,000 a year a few years into your data analyst career, the odds of you making that in your first job are basically zero. However, we as data analysts aren't interested in baseless opinions. We want data. In this video, we're going to look at what you can expect to make as an entry-level data analyst and beyond from 2 reliable sources. Second, we're going to use our critical thinking to see if that data might still be biased. And then third, I'm going to share some anecdotal salary data that I've collected from being friends with a ton of different data analysts. First, let's look at dataanalyst.com. Dataanalyst.com is a very popular data analyst job board, and they get their salary data from 2,300 data analyst jobs that are posted by companies. According to their website, the average data analyst can expect to make just over $100,000 per year, and the average entry-level data analyst can expect to make just over $83,000 per year. Scrolling down, we can see some summary statistics for entry-level data analysts as well as senior and lead data analysts. As we can see, there are some outliers in their job base. Some of these data analyst jobs can pay as little as $32,000 a year, and according to their maximum salaries, you can see some really high numbers, but I promise you're not going to be making $250,000 in your first data analyst job. Looking right here at the median salary, we can get a good look at what your salary expectations might be throughout your career. An entry-level analyst in the median will make around $79,000 a year. A senior analyst is right at $100,000 a year. And then a lead data analyst has a median salary of $119,000 per year. Obviously, these are some great salaries, but there are 2 reasons I think this data is a little bit biased, and these numbers are slightly higher than what an actual data analyst might make. If you want to, you can pause this video right here and go to dataanalyst.com and try to figure out why I think this data might be biased before I tell you. Okay, so my first reason that I think this data might be biased is this data is only representative of jobs where the companies choose to make their salaries public. If a company chooses to or is forced to make their salary numbers public, they might be incentivized to make that salary higher so that way they have a good reputation. Or it could be the other way around, and because these companies pay a good salary, they might be incentivized to post that data in order to recruit more talented data analysts. The second reason I think this data might be biased is companies in certain states like California and New York are required to share their salaries whenever they post jobs online. Coincidentally, there are a lot of high-paying jobs in states like New York or California, so if there are a lot of jobs here from those 2 states, that's likely to push the overall salary numbers up. Scrolling down to the salaries by state, we can see in the parentheses how many jobs are represented from each state, and California has 374 jobs, which is much more than many of these other states. Scrolling on down here to New York, we can see that similarly, New York has 338 jobs posted, and since jobs in these 2 states are much more likely to pay higher salaries, that definitely means they could push the average salaries for data analysts up in this database. These 2 reasons don't mean that we can't trust this website whatsoever. It's just a good reminder to be careful as we read and hear about salary data because it might not be representative of the overall job market. Now looking at Glassdoor, this is an incredibly popular website that employees use to apply for jobs as well as look at salary information. This website requires employees to share their salary in order to use all of the functions on the website. And that's a good reminder that all of the salaries on this website were reported by employees, where all of the salaries on the last website were company reported. I'm actually going to show you 3 tabs of data really quick because this website doesn't lay out the data as nicely as the last website. So according to Glassdoor, a data analyst can make between $87,000 and $137,000 a year. Jumping over to the second tab where I searched how much an entry-level data analyst can expect to make, we can see that the total pay range is $47,000 to $78,000 a year. This is a lot closer to what I think that a data analyst might expect to make in their first data analyst job, but let's look at senior data analysts before we get more into the data. And as we can see on this third tab, a senior data analyst can expect to make $133,000 to $197,000 a year. To be honest, I think that these ranges are even more off than they were on the previous website. For example, a senior data analyst can actually make a very wide range of values because there are some companies that are willing to hire senior data analysts that just have 2 or 3 years of experience, and then there are some companies that expect their senior data analysts to have like 10 years of experience. So just like we did with the first website, let's think of how this data might be biased. One source of bias you might think of is that data analysts who make more money are more likely to post what they make because they want to brag about it. While that might be true, remember that this website is anonymously reported data analyst salaries, so you can't really brag using Glassdoor. One potential source of bias I can think of is that an employee who would use a website like this might be harder working to begin with and therefore more likely to already be making a better salary. However, I'm not as convinced of that as I am about the bias from the previous website. Last, now that we've checked out those two websites, I'm going to give you my estimate of what you can expect to make as a data analyst. I've been a data analyst for 3.5 years as of making this video and a content creator helping others get into data analytics for 2 years. Over that time, many data analysts have shared their salaries with me, especially at the entry level. Given what I've heard, I would expect most data analysts that are breaking into the field in 2024 to make somewhere between $50,000 and $80,000 per year. And this will depend on many different things, including education, location, background, and other variables. Remember, this is 100% anecdotal just based on what people have told me, but this is the range that I would give a friend if they asked me how much a data analyst makes. Whether you agree or disagree with me on any of this, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if you have any interest in becoming a data analyst, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I post a brand new video every week helping you become the best data analyst you can be. My only hope is that this channel will help you land your first data analyst job and that you'll make the salary that you're looking for. And with that, I'll see you next week.